Hello everyone, I'm MoverNerd14 and welcome to a video where I'll be sharing my personal thoughts and opinions about the Halloween event that started last week. In case you missed it, linked in the top right and in the description is my video where I go over all the new buildings and features of the Halloween event. Of course, we'll be starting with the new event buildings. This event brings the 5x4 tarot card caravans, and at least it's a little bit smaller than last event's sunflower oil press. Its bonuses are also actually pretty good, with 10 forge points, 35 previous arrow goods, a 19 to 22% attack boost, and 1 fragment of finish all supply productions. It also provides negative happiness like many of the Halloween themed buildings in this game. I think that the forge points and the goods it provides are really nice to have, especially the previous era goods. I like that we're able to start getting more buildings with that as a boost, but it does tend to make the Stargazer Great Building from Space Age Mars a little bit obsolete. You'd need to have it at a level 9 to be the same as the Caravans, which isn't that hard to reach, but it is the only boost that the Stargazer provides. Well, with the Caravans you get a whole bunch of other goodies. The attack boost is also welcome, and it has a decent efficiency of 0.95 to 1.1 attack per tile. The look of the Caravans is quite unique, and while I haven't been a real fan of how the House of Horrors, Horror Circus, or this building look, I have to admit that these buildings are at least building towards a common theme and would fit together quite nicely. I really appreciate this, as I usually try to design my city by putting buildings that look similar together to create a nicer looking city. The one problem I do have with this building is the fragment of a supply boost, which seems out of place with this spooky focused building. On beta there was the ability to win fragments of the Daunting Tower, which we'll talk about later as daily specials, but this was removed coming to live. I think that the tarot card caravans giving a fragment of the Daunting Tower would be better themed with Halloween, but I guess that's not going to be the case. Of course, the question is always, will I place the caravans in any of my 3 cities, and the answer is going to be yes. I'm planning on placing it in my main city and my diamond farm, where I could use a little bit more attack boost. However, it won't be going into my tiny town because I don't really have space for it, and it doesn't provide anything truly useful for that city. Now I'll be moving on to the other 2 new buildings introduced in this event, the Haunted Tree and Daunting Tower. The Haunted Tree is a bit of a letdown for me. It's only available from the calendar reward, which is pretty difficult to win without spending diamonds or sacrificing your ability to win daily specials that you actually want due to having to spend tools every day to attempt to win the calendar reward. However, looking at the tree without looking at the way you have to get it, I'm still less than enthused. It provides only 20 forge points for 5 days and then happiness, so it basically becomes a 100 forge point package combined with a decoration. The one place I could see this being useful is with a Blue Galaxy, Forge Fountain, and or Cobalt Lagoon. Using these buildings together, you could make up to 88 forge points per collection from this little building, which is kind of crazy. However, that's only for 5 days, which isn't that great. I'm not sure I like how Inno is making a bunch of limited buildings with no way to recharge them. If there was a way to win some sort of reset boost for these buildings so that you could get continued use out of them, I'd like them more. But how it is now, they just feel like very limited decorations rather than something truly valuable to me. What is quite valuable though is the Daunting Tower, which provides a 50% attack boost for 1 day in a 1x1 space. That's unheard of. It is the most powerful attack building ever introduced into the game, albeit only for 24 hours. I really like the idea of this building, which I think of more as a placeable 24-hour attack boost rather than a building that I'd actually keep around in my city. I can see myself keeping a stock of these in my inventory for when I really need to hit high attrition in guild battlegrounds, or if I ever really need to push far on the continent map by fighting. I also like how, even though you can win it from the event pass, you can also win it as a daily special. Originally it was going to be fragments of the tower won as daily specials, but it's also great that now you can win full buildings. This does take away some of the value from the event pass though. And speaking of the event pass, it seems like Inno is still experimenting with making it more valuable to players. You can win the Forge Fountain and some old avatars along some other rewards. It seems weird to me that for this event there was no truly exclusive building for the event pass, only the Forge Fountain being one that you can't get via normal gameplay. That said, I won't be buying the event pass as I just don't see the value. Moving on to the event minigame, I've always liked this style of game. There's so many mechanics to play with, and while it can take a while to move through the fairground and get your rewards, it's always fun uncovering further parts of the fairground. The one change this year is the introduction of the orb for 25 diamonds, which uncovers dark fog tiles, but in reality you shouldn't be leaving many behind if you're playing strategically, so it's nice to have as an option, but one I doubt I'll be using. I've also been using the librarian portrait in my main city for years, so I'm hoping I'm lucky to find it in the fairgrounds of my other cities this year so that I can have the same avatar across all of my cities. I'm not the biggest fan of the toy mechanic, as I've been pretty unlucky in finding all the toys I need to complete the collector's reward in the past, but I've already managed to get nearly all the toys in each of my cities this year. Also, each of the toys has its own little horror story, and if you want to see them all, I'll link my video about them in the top right or in the description down below. As per the calendar reward, it can be really hard to get it for free. You have to play the event nearly every day and spend currency often. However, if you want to save some event currency to use on daily specials you actually want, you can spend tools once every other day. Simply find 2 calendar stickers. Use the first one to open today's calendar reward and leave the other one on the ground uncollected. Come back tomorrow and you've got a ready to go sticker. This is especially useful so that you have less of a chance to accidentally win a daily special you don't want, as over the course of those 2 days, you have the chance to switch the daily special twice, giving you up to 4 chances at a daily special you want. In terms of daily specials, there's a lot of good ones this year. I'll definitely be going for a number of Daunting Towers, Winners Plazas, and Stages of Ages in my main city. It's also nice to see renovation kits offered again, so I'll be targeting some of those for my tiny town. Just be aware that the list of potential daily specials has been changed from beta to live, so something you want might not be available, and we won't really know the exact list until the event is already over. However, it was explicitly stated that the prizes were improved, so we might see even more good prizes this event that we don't know about. I guess we'll just have to wait to find out. And with that, which daily special are you going for? Be sure to comment down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, I'd appreciate you subscribing. See you next time, and good luck with the event!